Month to month, box to box. This is how we live in the GLP-1 community. We never know when our coverage is going to get yanked from underneath us. Last year, it got yanked out from underneath me, and I had to go the compound route. I had to go to a telehealth. And what alleviated that financial burden a little bit for me was using my HSA card. I went to the hsastore.com to look for some electrolytes. ShedRx is there. ShedRx, the telehealth, is HSA approved and FSA approved. Ah! So I'm going to ShedRx, right? And I'm going to use my HSA, which alleviates a huge financial burden for me. And if you're interested as well, go to shedrx.com. They'll take great care of you. They've got fantastic doctors. And you can use the link down below in our link tree, or just go to shedrx.com and use my code CAT50. Get your $50 off your first month.
There's other things that are driving my weight other than just food noise. For some people, maybe it is just the food noise, and that's amazing. They'll lose weight super fast.
Sure.
For
Yeah.
me, that's one element, but I think there's stress is a huge thing for me. And I think getting rid of that food noise, now it's like, okay, that's being addressed. Now I need to deal with how I manage stress, because I think that's a factor for why I haven't lost weight as quickly. But now, it's one less thing that I can, but that's where the combination comes in. So I really like the way that you are putting that, Dr. Rachel.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned managing stress, because I talk to all of my clients about stress management and having a unique coping toolbox that works for them of coping tools. Because if we are not managing our stress, so many problems can arise. And many people, I'm not generalizing, but many people do turn to food when they're stressed. And after somebody has bariatric surgery or maybe is on a GLP-1, it's not that food is taken away, but you may not want to be turning to food anymore, or you don't have the desire to turn to certain foods anymore. And then the question is, what do you do? Right? So that is something I love to talk to patients about before they start GLP-1s or before they start bariatric or go for bariatric surgery, because it's really important to be building that coping toolbox in advance. So then it's not just taken away and you're like, oh my God, I'm stressing now. What do I do? Because I used to turn to food. So that's really important. And I think that's why it's so important that anybody seeking treatment for obesity, regardless of which tool they're going to use, that they have that mental health support and they have the other support in place, because these are things that have to be addressed.
And I do think that's something to consider. And what I've realized through this process is that not everybody can afford a therapist. Not everybody can afford these medications for sure. And not everybody can afford a therapist or is going to go and feel like they're in a safe place to go somewhere, and where a lot of people feel like they're being judged. Now, therapy is something I've been doing a long time with my husband and with my son, because it's just such a big part of our lives. But it wasn't always like that for me. I for sure grew up in a household where that wasn't what we did. We didn't even talk about things, So I think it's important to understand the power of community if you don't have access to that, right? So in our community on TikTok, we know each other, we support each other. We have our friends that maybe just comment, and then we have our friends that maybe want to help moderate on lives, and we have our friends who actually want to post and share their story. And they're all different sizes of different creators that we do this. And I will tell you, I know the medication is magical and powerful and all the things, but what has made the difference for me, 14 months and the longest I've ever gone, and not even had, I'm fine. I'm great. It's because of my community. The power of hearing other people and just knowing that it's not your fault. It's huge. And every day I can go there and see that. And I do therapy too, which is great, but I'm blessed, right? I'm privileged that I can afford to do therapy. So I hope that people who are out there who don't know, there's still a space for you, and we share stuff, and we have Dr. Rachel and other people like this on the show. So I hope you'll at least enjoy this. You can't get that.
Absolutely. That support and knowing that you're not alone is so important. And as much as I'm an expert in this area and a therapist, I tell people all the time, you have to make connections with other people going through similar things. Even if you are quiet and you just listen, you hear another story, something's going to hit you and be like, oh, I'm not alone. That wasn't just me. That happens to them too, or something sounds similar. And there's lots of support groups and forums. And I really do encourage everybody to be a part of a community and feel that support, because it's needed, really.
So important.
That's the nature of binge eating. I have gone to many therapists for my binge eating and overeating, Overeaters Anonymous, but that's the nature of binging, is isolating.
Yes.
And pulling away. And I did that a lot of shrinking, a lot of
no more
shrinking around. Yeah. No more shrinking. What Kim says, no more shrinking.
No more
but it's so isolating. So isolating.
It is. It's a lot of being alone, because it's a lot of shame and it's a lot of trauma.
That's it. It's this big shame, the big shame.
And we all see that within each other, and it all manifests within our community too. And there's always some sort of drama, but we always all work through it as well. We get through it. And that's something Dr. Rudy was on our show, and I don't know who Dr. Rudy is, but he was on our show, and I was like, kind of talking about sort of this pain and trauma, and like forgiveness of self and forgiveness of doctors and forgiveness of, and Weight Watchers, and trying to forgive and move forward and heal, right? And trying to heal. I'm trying, Kat, and what's great though about people with obesity is they have grit. They have so much grit. And that's what we do, right? We get down and we just kind of pull ourselves back up, and being around that power, all those people that think that way and that do that and just keep pulling themselves back up. I'm telling you, we could change the world. We could do it.
I absolutely agree. And it's contagious, right? You see somebody else being motivated and making change, and you want to jump in and do it. And it's about sharing those stories and holding each other's hands and being that ear, that shoulder to lean on when somebody needs it. And that's what the community is all about. And I think those are the individuals that are the most successful, or the ones that have that added support in that community.
Yeah, I agree. I think you need an anchor. And I think if you can't do a therapist, please do both if you can. But you can't.
This work.
We're here. Do this first. It's a good step in, right? It's a
good you're making me. I'm like brainstorming. I'm like, how can we do like a Dr. Rachel / all of you like support group? Like, I don't know. I'm like, we got to think about something.
There's so much disparity, like with these medications and with the disease, and we just want more people. We want more access, more affordable access, all kinds of care.
And that's it's a good point, Kim, about the access and the disparity, because very few people have this covered. This treatment or counseling, psychiatry. But out here in Washington State, and I don't know if Dr. Rachel, you've seen this, there's a couple lawsuits going, class actions, to try and force the insurance companies to cover these, and calling it discrimination. And you were talking about language earlier, and it made me think about the words that we use when we're talking about this, because the lawsuits out here are couching obesity in terms of a disability. We're all on the same page that this is a disease. But I wonder about the use of that word. And I'm curious, because that's how the attorneys who are doing this lawsuit are saying it's disability discrimination to not cover treatment for obesity. And I think calling obesity a disability is a bit different than saying it's a disease.
Well, I don't know if we should be using that word. Autism, really. Like, that's that. If you think about it, like with autism, we consider that a disability. Like, in order to get the rights that they need to have a service dog, or to get, things that they need to be able to support them, right? They have to be considered as a disability. But we also know that autism is not a disability, really, right? Like, it's just their brain work. That's neurodivergence. Their brain just works different. There's nothing wrong with them. But we have to label them as such just so they can get support, because that's how our society looks at things. So I kind of don't care if they want to call me disabled. If that's the case, like if it's that I can get care and get better, then like I am okay with that, But I think
I just wonder. I just wonder if somebody would internalize that then and feel, right. Because I agree with you, like in a way, like if it makes people get the care, who cares? But, I don't love it. And if I think about it, if we break it down, the way that I see disability with obesity is that obesity obviously is a disease. We know that. Mm-hmm. But some individuals with obesity may have additional symptoms or may have disabilities that are associated with the disease, right? Mm-hmm. So, but obesity is not a disability. but I'm seeing individuals with obesity may also be disabled or have other disabilities.
Yeah.
That's how I'm imagining it, right? Like if somebody's say somebody has obesity and they have difficulties walking, right? That could be somewhat more of a disability. But the actual, like if we label everybody with obesity having a disability, I think that's too far.
I mean, I for sure think people internalize autism that way too. They for sure feel like the world is not made for them, because it's not,
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
It's a lot. So here's the truth. I'm tired, but not like the didn't get enough sleep tired, although I have that too. I mean, the kind of exhaustion that feels like it's stitched into your bones. So for me, that's perimenopause. And honestly, also the high doses of GLP-1s haven't helped. And so I kept thinking, am I missing something? And it turns out, yeah, we naturally have NAD in our bodies. It's essential for energy, cellular repair, brain function. But as we age, we lose it, which of course is not fun. No bueno. That's why I've added NAD plus back in, and I've been going through Shed, which is a telehealth to do it, because this season of my life is about putting back what time or meds have taken from me. I'm not ashamed of it. Whether it's GLP-1, HRT, or NAD, I'm rebuilding the energy that I deserve to have. Now, listen, I'm not a doctor and I don't pretend to be one on this podcast. I always recommend checking with your medical provider to see if NAD is right for you. But if you go through Shed, you will meet with a licensed provider to be able to guide you safely. If you're feeling the same bone deep fatigue like I am, check out the NAD Plus with Shed. If you use my code, which is Kim40 at checkout, you're going to save 40%. It's also linked in my link tree. There's no shame in my game, just science, support, and reclaiming what's mine. I hope it works for you too.